Nero had been with the family for 14 years. 14 years of vocabulary acquisition, which in African gray terms meant a working lexicon of approximately 300 words, deployed with the specific, unnerving accuracy that made African grays the most linguistically sophisticated birds kept as pets anywhere. He knew hello and dinner and good morning and the name of every family member and approximately 40 phrases that he had assembled himself from fragments, producing combinations that nobody had taught him and that sometimes made an unsettling amount of sense. He had learned help from the television. The family knew this. They had identified it, tracked it back to a nature documentary about search and rescue operations. Nero had adopted it with enthusiasm and used it periodically, in the way he used many things without clear contextual logic. Until the 4 nights in January, when he used it with complete contextual logic. He began screaming it at 3:14 a.m. on a Monday, not incorporating it into other sounds, not mixing it with other words, just help, 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 sustained, directed, at a volume that pulled the entire household from sleep. They checked on him. He was fine. They checked on each other. Everyone was fine. The house was fine. Subscribe so you don't miss what they found on day 5. Some words don't stop because they're not being heard. Nero screamed help at 3 a.m. on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Friday morning, Margaret, their house guest, the 74-year-old aunt who had been staying in the guest room at the end of the hall, was not at breakfast. They found her on the guest room floor. She had fallen some time during the night. Her hip. She could not get up. She had been there for an unknown number of hours. The paramedic who arrived said her core temperature indicated she had been on the floor for approximately 4 to 6 hours. The floor of a guest room in January. She was treated. Her hip was fractured, but operable. Her recovery was slow but complete. Nero had been screaming help for 4 nights. They did not have a camera in the guest room. They did not know when Margaret had fallen. They did not know if Nero had been screaming because he heard her fall on the first night, or because he smelled something, or because he had in some other way available to a bird, with 14 years of contextual language acquisition, understood that something in the household was wrong. They only knew that he had screamed the right word, the only word that could have been right, for 4 nights before they listened. Neighbors were told to listen when a parrot screamed something coherent at 3 a.m. Subscribe. Feathers carry more than you'd expect.